This is Creative to Creative. Together, we deep dive into the creative and production processes of leading creatives, finding out what makes them tick, how they do what they do, and the challenges along the way. This is Creative to Creative, powered by Motion by Design. This week, we interview Carla Grace, a full-time wildlife artist specialising in realistic oils and acrylic paintings from our hometown in South Australia. So, have you ever gone outside of your, niche and decided to paint like a yellow monkey? Have you done any stylistic?
No, not stylistic. And I have absolutely no desire. Well, actually, no. Saying that, I painted a pair of horses last year where I adapted a portion of their skin with the skin of another animal based on concepts that I have in my mind. But saying that, I have absolutely no desire to go into fantasy sort of things. So I still want it to look convincing and real. People will look at it and then they take a double look because, they see something unexpected. The idea of that excites me so much. And so one horse had some snake skin on it, in the subtle part of it where it blends into the shadow. And another horse had bison fur on it as well. So people look at it and they associate how they feel about those added elements to the overall picture. Even though the overall picture is beautiful, they hate snakes, so they're going to hate the picture. So there's also an element of conceptual design to it where it creates conversation. So I feel like that is also something that's lacking on wildlife art, is it doesn't generate thought-provoking or conversational background noise to the artwork. So I want something that is both visually beautiful and intellectual, emotional, tells a story, gets something going, but not to the point where it's in your face kind of a thing. It's a subtle wrap-up message around it.
Yeah, subtle messages.
Yeah.
Brainwash your audience in subtle ways.
Yes.
I've got a bit of a fast five type question here.
Okay.
So that everyone gets asked the same questions, although I'm probably going to change one of these questions because I will get to that in a sec.
Okay.
Some of them might be quite obvious, but we'll see how we go.
All right.
Question number one, do you prefer to work in a team or alone?
Ooh, a bit of both. I would love to have a team around me to support what I am able to do on a full-time basis, because what I do is very a limiting thing because I can only do the art part. So if I can have a team that will take care of the rest, then I can work on my own to do what I love to do.
And this is where your husband comes into the business scenario, the Premiere Pro expert.
Yeah. So the background to this comment is my husband, is now joining forces with Carla Grace Art, and he has absolutely zero experience in the art industry, and he is going to enable me to do the art full time. And he has one of those wicked, dry Australian sense of humours, and I don't even know what to expect, but I'm excited to have someone else in the studio. So we'll see.
If you weren't in the creative industry, what would you do?
Framing. Love framing.
Is that creative?
I don't know. I don't know if it would be carpentry, the carpentry aspect of it, because I love building stuff. That's my hobby, my passion behind, if I need to unwind, I'll go build some drawers, or at the moment I'm building a fruit bowl out of a wine barrel. I just DIY. I love that.
Nice.
So I don't know if I'd do something with that, or I had a passion for midwifery, but obviously terrible at studying it. So I don't know.
I think the table thing's a good one. I've built all the tables in our office, and that's just something I love doing in the spare time as well.
Hands-on, something with your hands. Every day is different.
If you're a type of cheese, what cheese would you be?
Tasty. That's my favourite cheese.
Organised or messy?
Organised. Oh, yeah.
So the last one, and I feel like maybe you should think of your own if this isn't applicable to you, but it's with everyone else, we've sort of asked what your favourite font is or marketing channel or media.
Just in terms of marketing channels, I can't say I'm a massive fan of marketing. I prefer something to be a little bit more like unintentional. And I feel like with marketing, so like Instagram, so marketing to me is social media and those sorts of things. And it's very intentional. It's always every day you're thinking of how can I provide something to my followers that will benefit them, while at the same time feeling like I don't want to make another video. Like,
have you thought about like sponsorships? And obviously, you know, you laughed a little bit about galleries, but I mean, realistically, if let's say 80% of your audience is in South Australia, then being in some sort of gallery is obviously in that space where everyone wants to come in and probably buy art. And
I have considered galleries, and I've approached many South Australian galleries. And unfortunately, the attitude of the head of galleries, I look for someone who considers my work with the same passion that I do, like in terms of sees the potential and can adapt their marketing skills to enable the sales and the growth of my brand as well. So I'm not just looking for a window for people to look through to see the artwork in person, because third-party sales avenues, you have to consider that they are not going to like your work as much as you do. And I've had so many pieces damaged by galleries just because they don't care. It's a product that they're putting on the shelf to sell to their people that walk in the door. So I really struggle with galleries, and when I meet the gallery director in person, I search for that passion that mirrors my own, because at the end of the day, the artist is the only one that is going to care about their work. The gallery owner just is not going to, usually, on like, unless they're going to be taking like 50 to 60% of the commission of the sale, where they're very invested in your artwork selling. It's just, I don't know, I struggle with it. And they don't usually have as much drive to sell it for what I can get it for myself.
have you thought about starting your own gallery and workshops on your own property?
I would love to. That's probably down the road quite a ways. We are going to be building a studio separate to the house for me. We got council processes in motion.
Great.
And ultimately, I would love to be able to have a large space where I can host workshops, and obviously people can see what I'm working on, but it's ultimately to create a training space for people to come in and learn skills that they need to in person that they can't otherwise do through their phone. So it comes back to that core passion of mine to enable people to get better at what they do, rather than creating a gallery space that is Carla Grace art only.
Yeah.
That to me, I feel like is a little bit short-sighted, because it's not all about me, and I don't think that I'm the best at what I do. I feel like it needs to be a little bit bigger than that.
Holistic.
Yeah.
A way of living.
Yeah. So my social media channels are great for sharing what I do in the process and everything like that. But when it comes to a bricks and mortar thing, I would be looking much bigger than just creating something that people can come in and see what I do in person.
Yeah.
Far more involved and bigger, much bigger.
I have one last question, and that is, what piece of advice would you give to your past self or someone starting out in the industry?
Consider whether or not becoming a full-time artist is what you really want, because as soon as you do something you love every single day, it becomes a job. It is very quickly going to lose that shine that you get when you're just working on it on the weekend or whenever you can. If you love art as an inspiration, as something that is therapeutic, you can wind down doing, creating a full-time career out of it is not going to be advisable. So for me to start out, like, I was super excited. I was like, I'm good at art. I love doing it. And it didn't take long for that to wear off. And then it becomes the daily battle of, you sit in front of that easel and you paint. It doesn't matter how you feel, because if you don't work, you're not going to earn any money and you can't pay your bills. So as much as people want to say it's not about the money, if it's your job, it's got to be at some level sustainable. And being aware of that before you commit to it, I think it's probably one of the most important things I can say to people who are dreaming of becoming an artist.
That's great
full time.
Good advice. I think that on top of that as well, like you've got, obviously you're evolving and adapting into different sort of streams of, you know, your time. So you're not just being an artist, you're also being a business owner. You're sending out invoices, you're packaging, you're framing, you're creating online tutorials, and potentially even maybe off the back of what you've said, scoping out some of where that might go for you as well might be beneficial.